So hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi,
So,
Anne.
firstly, could you please give a brief introduction about yourself as to who you are, who you live with, what you do, and all?
Okay, so Anvi, I am, I like to call myself a homemaker as well as someone who's following her passion and pursuing a career as well. Uh, I am a mother of two. I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I run my own food business, which has been running for the last 9, 10 years now. Um, so that's pretty much what I do. I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and yeah, that's what I do. I live in a family of 9 other people. Yeah, so that's my brief introduction.
Okay. So if you don't mind answering, do you have any previous medical history?
No, not really. I think I'm a fairly healthy person.
Yeah, that's great. So ever since the pandemic started, like there have been many people spreading fake rumors about medicines or Ayurvedic remedies that prevent COVID. So have you adopted some of them, or do you think it's a farce and you haven't gone with any of them? Like, what's your take to it?
See, I think it's a matter of personal belief. Initially, I did remember I do homeopathy as well, and somebody told me that homeopathy there's a preventive medicine. Um, to be honest, I don't have blind faith in these things. I believe in eating healthy and believe in eating fresh and seasonal. I am a foodie myself, I cook a lot. So I don't think in the pandemic we have hardly eaten out. We've cooked mostly home. And I think if you sort of eat fresh and seasonal food, you are okay. You know, even with my children, they pursue a sport as a hobby. And so I have to really be careful and watchful what they eat. So I generally don't give them junk, try to restrict junk coming in the house. Not to say that we don't eat, but I think we restrict that side a lot. So I'm quite strict with that. So when you eat fresh and healthy food and you restrict the junk intake, it sort of keeps you going and keeps, and we do keep, my kids have haldi wala doodh. I also drink haldi wala doodh. We started taking zinc supplements in general, which we were not taking. I've sort of replaced the milk that we take from mother dairy to a cow milk substitute. So pretty much that's it. I hate taking in medicines. Even when my kids fall sick with cold and cough, I generally go the natural way and go to, with antibiotics is like absolutely the last resort when my doctor scolds me that you just cannot do without it. So that way I'm not a very big believer in medicines. And frankly speaking, there is no proof in, there's no test in saying that this medicine is, if it was there, then everybody would be taking it. So I think we just have to be have a good immune system. I think that's it.
And how has the pandemic and the lockdown affected you? Like, have you become more patient, or has there anything, how it's affected you basically?
I see. I don't think it's impacted me very negatively because, to be honest, it is what it is. One has to accept it and one has to live with it. I am not shunning myself to the outside world that I will not do anything. We have not socialized. We have not gone out to restaurants or anything. So in terms of that, it's been slightly, but having small kids in the house, it's been, I think we've sort of gotten around it, and it's given me a lot of, in terms of my work also, it's given me a lot of time to rethink strategies, because we were very negative in the beginning that God knows how this year is going to pan out. I'm in a gifting business, and food business. So I've been associated with restaurants, and the thing with food was it's recession proof. With weddings, it's recession proof. You're happy, you go to a restaurant. You're sad, you go to a restaurant. So you never face a recession really in this market. And weddings, people always will, gift out and do these things. So, but it's given me a lot of time to rethink strategies of how I can rehash my products, reach the market better, So I got more in terms of my own involvement, in terms of marketing strategies. I got more involved in it, and that's been quite positive for my business. Another positive for my children, I think, has been they're becoming very independent. They are in grade 3 and grade 6. My 10-year-old is totally independent on her studies now. I don't have to look into anything. And this year she's increased subjects and doing a lot of things, expanded her studies a lot. But I am not getting after her. The good part also in online school, I feel, is they're saving on a lot of time. They are not expected to do those exams where they're cramming up and taking those exams unless they're having more multiple choice questions, where it is, if you know it, you'll get the answer right. There is no cramming up involved, and that's how I think learning should be. So my kids are becoming, I leave in the morning and they are handling their school on their own, so they have become totally independent. And yeah, so I'm not complaining. Work is obviously low. I'm not complaining there. My kids are becoming more independent. I'm tired. That's the downside, because it's a lot of work. Because we are not having any outside staff coming in, and but it's okay. I mean, everyone's in it. Everyone's going through it, and I think we're slowly opening up as well. We are not as stringent the way we were about COVID. I think we're all trying to be careful, but not letting it sort of rule our minds. Um, so I think that's an acceptance. But it's not going to affect me in continuing and thinking of next year how I need to revamp it and things like that. Yeah, so I think it's not bad at all.
Yeah. So how did you deal with your work and your kids and like, everything during the lockdown? And like now, are you stepping outside your house to work or do you still try to do it from inside your house itself?
So, I think working women have it really hard, especially for women who are working out of home. I mean, kudos to them that they're handling with the kids, taking over separate rooms, and having their own laptops, and with younger kids where the mother has to actually sit with the kids and handle their studies and making them understand, because online it's so easy to just switch off and the teacher can't do anything about it. Um, in my case, being the business owner, I think there's some advantage that I don't have to follow 9 to 5 schedule. I work around the schedule of my children. And of course, I have staff now, which I didn't have till about 2 months back. They had all gone to the village and we were not hiring them back. So slowly we've also expand, like work has increased and it's becoming better. We are following all our protocols at work, because I also have family and have to come back home. So it is what it is, and I think that's what has sort of made the children so much more independent, that they have to handle it on their own. My work is such, I cannot do it from home. I have to step out. So in the beginning, it was hard because if there is a technical glitch in the computer, the kids are bumped off from class or whatever. But I think if you're in a situation, it's best to understand how to deal with it rather than crib about it. And there's no end to how much you can, your sob stories, and it's never going to be perfect. So I think our kids are also learning. I mean, it's an early age, it doesn't matter, but kids are also learning to cope up with it. And I don't think it's been hard. I mean, they're actually coping up with it very, very well. They've not met any of their school friends. They've not had any kind of social interaction with their friends, but I don't see them in a meltdown or complaining situation at all. So I think everyone's learning to adjust with it, and we shall get out of it, I think, close to next year. Hopefully, the vaccine's out and things should get normal.
Yeah, hopefully. So if you could go back with the knowledge about the lockdown, like back into time when there was no COVID, so what's the one thing that you would like probably keep in your mind or you would gear yourself up with?
Um, Having as much permanent staff in the house, live-in staff in the house, because when it was extreme lockdown situation, it was extremely hard. The kids didn't have school, and everyone is at home, and our cook's family fell sick, so he also went, and so it was very hard. Physically, I think I was quite strained almost until August. We did not have all our staff back. So, and the other psychological issues of everyone being around all the time, and everyone is used to their own space and doing their own thing for a bit. These kind of psychological issues creep up, which is going to be worse than actually catching the disease. So I think one has to be very, very patient. I think it's been a real learning for most of us that you could be whatever, but if this is going to be a low, business wise, it's going to be low for another 2 years, I think. So one has to, it's a real learning for everyone that you could be whatever, but if you can't travel, you can't travel. I can't meet my sister. She's in Hyderabad. She cannot come here. It is what it is. So I think, yeah, in terms of as many hands as you can have to help would have been a good idea.
So do you think the way the government has responded to the COVID-19 situation, is it commendable, or do you think they could have done something more?
Well, I think in a country of, I think people are very negative about the Delhi government in general, that they're not happy. But I feel in a country with such high population, it is extremely difficult to expect the common man to understand social distancing in a country like India. I mean, I am getting out for work every single day, and I am seeing what um, what is happening. I think in India, the only thing that they'll get away with it is herd immunity. That people are just so immune to getting away with it that that's the only thing that's going to save them. There is no social distancing being followed in the common masses at all. So, and I don't see anything. I mean, slowly, things are opening up. Everything has opened up. I mean, I don't know why cinema theaters have to open up. Malls are opening up. I mean, it's businesses at the end of the day for them as well. But I think things will get haywire. So I think the initial lockdown, when it was completely lockdown, was probably the safest period. But they had to do it to organize medical facilities for people. But if the number of cases are sort of stagnant and the recovery rate is increasing, I think that's a positive, and something good is happening. It's like not such a big. If people are going to understand, okay, the cases are there, but you are recovering also out of it. It's not going to be if you have it bad, but it's not. You're not going to get down with it.
Yeah, of course.
So difficult to expect the government when we have countries like European countries are going into lockdown again. So what to expect out of India, really?
Yeah.
Till a vaccine comes out, I don't think there is any solution.
Yeah, that's true. So do you
Yeah.
have anything to just say about like the stigma attached with the COVID-19? Because when a household gets COVID, the nearby houses get a poster outside, and like basic needs like maybe vegetables and all, like where vegetable vendors refuse to come and deliver vegetables. So anything like that you have to say about?
I think that's what worried our society more than actually catching it. I know people who were asymptomatic cases who got COVID, but the worst fear in them was that I'm going to have a sticker outside my house. People are not going to meet me. People are going to never going to associate with me. They're going to think I'm diseased and things like that. But I think this is what was the initial perception. Now when every fourth house is getting it, and probably I also have it, but I'm not getting tested, like I know I might have it, I'm an asymptomatic case. People have sort of accepted it that even if you get it, you will get out of it. The stigma is really, really, it's worse than catching the disease itself, because your own family doesn't want to touch you. I'll give you an example. Like my own father, in June, he had a throat infection and he got fever. We visited him, and within 2 hours, we got a call that he has fever. And we all were scared. And this is in June, way back. And, he started panicking, and he started thinking he obviously has COVID, and let's get it tested. Now, getting tested is also, that time was not easy. Most of the labs said that these are not symptoms that are big enough. So you just sit at home and you just have to be quarantined. The stigma that he was going through, that I will get a poster outside my house, people will not want to see me. There's no house guests coming in any house anyway. But he was just so psyched out that people are going to start staring at our house and everything. We had to really counsel him that it's fine. The more important part is your health should be fine. You should get out of it. He tested negative. He quarantined himself for the next 3 days, and he tested negative. But those 3 days were extremely difficult, not only for him, but even for us who were not even in the same house, because he was just mentally putting so much pressure on himself. So it's worse than actually contracting the disease. The stigma that nobody's wanting to be with me, touch me, have a meal in the same room. It's in a country like India, it's worse because people are so used to being together. It's very I think that's the worst part about this disease.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Putting aside the downfalls, is there anything positive except for the fact that your children have become independent and like the things you mentioned before? Is there any other thing positive that has maybe changed you as a person?
Um, I think just taking things in your stride, accepting it, and moving on, making the best positive out of it, rather than, I could spend days cribbing about it. That oh my God, my business is going to shut, and nobody's work is doing well. It's a case of survival more than anything else. The government is really not coming in aid to any business owner in terms of rentals or salaries or anything. I have so much staff that I had to maintain for almost 4 5 months, because that's really hard. There was no relief on rentals or anything, and no relief at, so I think, but taking things in a stride, and like, I'll give you an example. Like this year on Rakhi, I thought, who's going to gift Rakhi? Who's going to do Rakhi at all? And you'd be surprised. I saw at least triple or 4 times increase in my Rakhi business than any year, because people who were just so frustrated or sitting at home and not doing anything with families, like even if then they were not meeting, they were trying to gift out nice things. So things are reviving back, and people understand, and want to give nice things. So I think I worked hard a lot on my branding and my overall brand language, and overall doing, going to market and marketing my product, that it really reaped benefits, rather than just, I could have just sat down in April and said, this year it's not going to work. Let me just shut it for 1 year and just do nothing. So I think it's a real positive to come out of it and actually help it survive and make the best out of it. And I think it's really, that should inspire everyone, to, a bad year can come in any business. But to actually stay afloat and work, I think things are going to revive back very nicely close
Yeah,
to end of next year, and we'll all be thinking this was just like a bad dream, I hope.
yeah, me too. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for doing this, Anvi. I hope I was a little help, and good luck for your project.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.